Erica Lorraine Spencer here. This is the P.O.C. pattern of conduct, the ongoing real-time documentation of what is the criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking in violation of 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsection 1 and subsection 2. This is the pattern of conduct underway by a public entity, that is the state of California, that is engaging in federal stalking in concert with the people of the state of California. So this is group conduct. And this is the practicing of what are the criminal elements of monitoring amongst what is the demon possessed. And so this is what is documentation of terrorism as it is underway by a public entity in concert with the people of the state who are in the shoes of the government as this criminal system is in ceaseless operation. And as the state engages in this demented group conduct, this is revealing how the public entity, that is the state of California, that is in the United States of America, how terrorism of an American citizen plays out, what that looks like, how that is facilitated amongst a people, amongst a government, how it is public corruption in plain sight, and not only that, how you formulate policy and how you prosecute that which is demonic conduct, it's demonic activity, but that which is in no way impervious to prosecution in federal court, and being subject to ratification into federal policy. This is the P.O.C. All right, sexual violence at 150 East Holt, 70 ML 540, 8 VNU 954, 7 VMS 087, BDP 075, 6ATM 647, 7XAB 150. And as you already know, the state's fake sun is over 150 East Holt, okay? But I've got it at 8:03 in the morning in the passenger side of the car going north up Euclid Avenue toward the library where it's remaining after 6 p.m. And then you've also got it at Vaughn's, at Foothill and Euclid in the city of Upland. It's 8:22 a.m. Alrighty, thank you. I needed to document that. It is 8:24 a.m. It is 9:49 a.m. City of Upland at Denny's. Impossible light activity inside of that venue beside me while I'm sitting at the bench. And even though I don't need this, I'm going to show you a video of the fake sun right above me while I'm at this Denny's at Euclid and San Antonio Avenue. All right, license 7ZAG675, 8WOE665, 8WZX478, 8VVG207, 7EQR865, 7UKR213, 8TTJ486, P282YO, 1WAY03, impossible light activity coming forward toward me as this group stalker is in the parking lot stalking, directed light off the side of the passenger side of the car on the asphalt while he drives by. All right, that's audible activity of his vehicle under the fake sun. It's 9:51 a.m. right, I want to speak to what is it's monitoring conduct, and this is conduct that is amongst a group. That is the people of the state who are maintaining presence in the state's directed light under the state's light source, which remains over the venue, while they are together stalking with audible activity, pursuant to my physical movement and activity on the internet on a communication device. So this is federal stalking amongst the demon-possessed. This is terrorism, where that ongoing chaotic, disruptive, and demented, absolutely unnatural environment is ongoing. And so I want to document the methods of terrorism by the people of the state in the way that it's taking form inside of the Upland Public Library. And on the surveillance cameras, you will see what is patrolling. I am sitting I'm sitting at a partition desk, which is beside the Brody room on the bottom level of the Upland Public Library. And you have what is the maintenance of presence. So that's what you're looking at while they are outwardly looking like they're looking at books, focusing on a computer, reading, talking. These are demons that are maintaining presence, and they are simultaneously engaging in coordinated activity creation. And so while I have on headphones, for example, and I am listening to music basically that is at a competition with the noise level that they are maintaining in what is a library. And I'm not talking about the voices you hear in the background. I'm talking about loud booming, which is uncharacteristic of sounding in the library. This is the same thing that I've described at the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, for example. And the reason why I'm using that as an example is because these are areas where it's supposed to be quiet. All right, you would assume it's quiet, and it is not. The pattern of conduct is underway, and like I have stated, demons are loud. They are chaotic. They are psychopaths, and they are stalking with noise and doing so in the uncharacteristic environment of what is the library. That's why it is an excellent example of what they are doing. And while outwardly seeking to appear as though they are doing their job or are doing whatever it is it looks like you're normally doing inside of a library, okay? And nothing is normal. These are demons engaging in ongoing malicious conduct. And so I want to be clear on the surveillance cameras where I am seated patrolling in and out of the men's restroom. This is a means of what is substantial audible activity. They are stalking in the path, and they are literally doing so as you see them on camera, pursuant to what I am doing on the internet, pursuant to what I am doing physically. And not only is that, it is substantially loud, audible activity. Okay, that is what you are actually looking at. What you see is married to the audible activity, and with regard to demons, what they do is inspired pursuant to when they do it. Okay, so all of this is relevant to what is witnessed on the surveillance cameras. But it's not just that; it is the employees patrolling in and out of the Brody room, which is right here next to me, and what is the loud, ongoing noise, which has been ongoing for hours. I'm just now updating my podcast as to the ongoing pattern of conduct while I remain here, and that is terrorism with regard to the maintenance of that demonic environment. That's what that is, and it is the loud, just as in the same way that light just appears out of nowhere to the atmosphere, you have what is the inexplicable loud booming noise that is occurring inside of the library, and it is pursuant to the same demonic behavioral pattern with simultaneity to what I am doing and what I am doing on the internet on my phone. Okay, it's 2:55 p.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, I just want to speak to what is the use of minors, that goes without saying. This is what the people of the state do, and this is how demons engage in a state system and the form, especially as you document and expose it, hiding behind the faces, and this is the inherent public corruption and that which is a government. This is a public entity engaging in the delinquency of minors, regardless of the fact that this is demon possession as I'm exposing it. As far as legal prosecution goes, this is the government engaging in the delinquency of minors while they are incorporating them into the criminal elements of monitoring while they are stalking with activity, patrolling in and out of the Brody room, and doing so with minor children, especially as they are aware, understand the malice with which they act. They are also engaging, they are hostile to being documented, and so their first thing is, oh, you're recording a child, while they are using children to monitor. Okay, so this is what I'm documenting. That's obstruction of justice. That's the malice with which the demon possessed, engaging in federal stalking, engaging the P.O.C. And so as you have what are patrolling next to me, 3:15 p.m., they're stalking with activity and doing so while they are maintaining presence inside of the Brody room. I'm taking a picture of what's a group stalker maintaining presence to my right while I am using the internet, both the Google Chrome notebook that belongs to the library, and while I'm in use of the internet on my phone. This is maintenance of relevant positioning, and this is what the group stalking looks like on the inside. So they're walking by, and the state is amplifying. Remember, amplification is a staple. Everything that they are doing is not the ordinary volume. So as they're patrolling in and out of the men's restroom, that is amplified audible activity with which they are using to stalk while they are aware of, and these are demons, that are aware of what I'm doing on the internet. This is how they have that uncanny ability to create that noise with simultaneity to my pressing a button on my phone or downloading a file or opening up a new web page on the Google Chrome or on the desktop computers for that matter. That's the demonic aspect. It is intrinsic to what this federal stalking conduct is. They are centered on what is the use of technology, and this is some demonic this demonic activity is directly tethered to that. They are engaging in monitoring on the venue of the internet, and so that is federal stalking with regard to the conduct that the demon possessed are engaging in, all right? And their conduct of stalking with activity, this conduct of amplification of activity, this conduct of group conduct altogether, that is demonic, all right, while the state is stalking with light, all right, which is already heavily documented, and this is ongoing everywhere that I'm going. So that's the ongoing environment while they are stalking together in the path and stalking with activity. And this is also documentation of what is the entity engaging in the delinquency of minors, using them maliciously so to engage in the criminal elements of monitoring. Understand what this is. This is terrorism by those who are under the age of 18, and in no way, just like any other terrorist, regardless of what country they're from or what age that they may be. This is something that is intolerable, and this is speaking to the revealing of that necessary policy and the ways in which the public entity engages in that which is demented conduct, which is terrorizing an American citizen as they act as the pack of demons that they are. All right, they are entirely focused on what I'm doing. It's 3:17 p.m. and that's what you're going to see. These are minions inside of the Brody room, underage minions, employees that are working here and engaging in that ongoing patrolling beside and around me. Okay, it is 3:17 p.m. and that is P.O.C.
So today, because the filming back here, we're gonna have you, if you don't mind.
Fine. I just forgot.
It's okay. Thank you so much.
All right, it is 3:18 p.m. What I wanted to capture was a group stalker that was maintaining presence as I'm closing down my podcast. He opens the door and says, "Oh, my apologies, wrong door." An employee is opening up. Understand their conversation is audible activity. Their location where they're having the conversation right here adjacent to me, which is the means of stalking with activity. All right. This is the entirely malicious conduct of the demon possessed while the criminal elements of monitoring are simultaneously underway. And that's what you're focusing on. And that's what I'm revealing. And the entirety of that pattern of conduct is facilitated and continuous. All right. It's 3:18 p.m. And that's what I took pictures of as one who steps right beside me and pauses and waits for the door to open. And another one does the same. All right, so they're just engaging in repeating the conduct while demons listen to me document their criminal activity. That is an employee room. It's not for the patrons, and they're stalking in the path and repeating the conduct as I document it out loud. It is 3:19 p.m., and that's everything that you're looking at, the surveillance cameras and also what the entity does, and understand the demonic behavioral pattern. Again, as I pointed out, foolishly, demons engage in more of it, all right? That is the pattern of conduct. In no way suggesting that it is not the pattern of conduct, in no way suggesting that they are ignorant of what they're documenting. This is inherent to the pattern of federal stalking, but this is the psychopath that I'm documenting, okay? It's 3:19 p.m., that is P.O.C. All right, 3:32 p.m. This is a vivid example of what is demonic activity. This is, for example, me sitting in the vehicle at 630 North Fern with a fake sun that is beside the vehicle, not in the sky space. It is beside the vehicle, and you see what is a group stalker that crosses path, creating light activity as the state is aiming that light. This group stalker exits the Brody room with simultaneity to what is monitoring on the venue of the internet. I am being blocked from the ability to access my Google Drive, stating that which is untrue, too many failed attempts. That's monitoring, okay? It's basically a pop-up that's blocking your ability to access my own documentation and giving an excuse that actually is untrue. I have not had any failed attempts, and this is the reason why it's blocking me from access. And as that means of monitoring is occurring on the venue of the internet, This group stalker exits, the same one that I was reciting. She was repeating what the other group stalker was doing. This is what demons do as you document, as they are listening to me, literally say out loud, recite their demented stalking activity. Another one comes and engages in repeating it. All right, they engage in demonic replication of the demented activity. And so this young lady exits the Brody room. She's crossing path, and I'm capturing her. She's walking in what is golden colored directed light. And this is at 3:32 while monitoring on the video of the internet is underway. This is witnessing demonic activity. And this is also, for purposes of prosecution, you are understanding what is terrorism, as this underage actor is engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring on behalf of a public entity, facilitated here at the state facilitating venue of the Upland Public Library, where they are all monitoring together. They are all, in other words, all engaging in demonic activity together, which is terrorism. All right. And this is that which is a documentation of the public entity engaging in the delinquency of minors who are demon possessed nonetheless. But you're speaking to what is the delinquency of minors while terrorism is underway, facilitating it through the criminal activity of those underage, all right, who are using the spaces inside of the library, engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring in concert with those employees of the state facilitating venue. So I just want to document that, and that's exactly what I captured in pictures. You're looking at a demon-possessed stalker who is walking in directed light. All right. It is 3:35 p.m., and that is P.O.C. All right, I want to document sexual violence as the people of the state that are maintaining presence engage in that affirmative sexually violent conduct of federal stalking inside of the private space. In doing so, while I remain at the venue of the Upland Public Library. And this would be documented not only on the surveillance cameras, but I'm going to recite the pattern of conduct as it is underway inside of the venue. And with regard to the element of relevant positioning, this is exactly what the people of the state of California are doing. They are maintaining presence. It is deliberate positioning conduct, specifically with regard to stalking inside of the restroom. I want to document light activity at 5:47 p.m. This is criminal facilitation of the same exact pattern of conduct. Their form is at its closing time, but I want to be clear. They use it at random times, not at a uniform time. So it's 5:47 p.m. and as I'm in use of my communication device and I'm walking out of the exit, 5:47 p.m., they begin flashing the lights. That's light activity. There is no form, but I just want to be clear. They're using the closing time. And by closing time, it's not a uniform time. They do it at 5:45. They do, in other words, it's a means of stalking with activity. That's what I mean. That's why they did it right now at 5:47 as opposed to at 5:40 like they did yesterday, and the day before that at 5:45. This is an approximate time, and that might sound to one as though you're nitpicking. It's not nitpicking. They are stalking with activity, and when I'm speaking about demonic activity, it is about what they do, and it is about what they are doing as they do it. All right, and the flickering of the lights. This is a facilitating venue. Understand that everything is being used for that criminal purpose, and engaging in light activity as I am walking through the venue at 5:47 p.m. They are typically beginning the light flickering or earlier than that time, by the way. It is all based on what I am doing as I am doing it for the purpose of stalking with activity. So anyway, with regard to the sexual violence inside of the venue, what you are paying attention to on the surveillance cameras and the stalking conduct of the people of the state, while they are inside of the venue, I am subject to ongoing monitoring, not just on the venue of the internet, not just by communication devices. I am speaking of demonic activity. All right, so demons, and this is relevant to the sexual violence, and this is in understanding the level of close monitoring conduct, not just by technology, but those that are of demon possession and the closeness with which you are being subject to what is, I guess if you want to, it's more than observation, it's demented conduct by a group. All right, and so this is stalking on a whole other level. Let me get this license plate. 7CYF646. And so with regard to deliberate positioning, you have what is the Google Chromebook. I'm using the laptop of the library, and that's a communication device. Of course, I'm using it on the venue of the internet. They are engaging in federal stalking under 18 U.S.C. 2261A, first of all, and doing so also on my phone. using their laptops, using all of their own communication devices, and the state is present stalking by plane and helicopter. The state is stalking with light around the perimeter, as I've shown you. That's ongoing conduct. The state is stalking via law enforcement. That there is an entire monitoring operation underway while I'm inside of that venue. All right, and this is speaking to all of this is already known. As I'm showing you, the state is stalking with the fake sun. That is why that is ongoing. Okay, this is exactly what this is indicating, and this is also terrorism, because this environment that is unnatural, the targeted individual becomes aware of it. This environment is following everywhere that you go, in addition to those whom you do not know and those whom you may know, are engaging in what is 6GOX486, engaging in conduct that is very demented with regard to what they're doing, the loud noises that they are making, and you're noticing what is noise that's following what you do, everything that you're doing, and this is at any place. And I am speaking to that which the ordinary targeted individual will not have any nomenclature for, will not have any, ordinarily, some discernment to understand that this is that which is exceeding natural ability. This is demented and this is demonic, all right? And this is that which a group is engaging in together, 8XP7520. And so you have what is terrorism, as a group of demon-possessed actors act together. BCKTBOO, 6ABF140, 7WRT, 676, 6YCH791. All right, and so you have what is that is the terrorism in that regard, with regard to the demonic environment and the demonic act conduct of the people. 8UNV763, 8KJD443. While also you have what is the unnerving conduct of following around. And this is what I've documented. If you're paying attention to my early documentation, when I am just beginning to catalog what I understand is going on, what I am discerning what is going on, but however, very fully aware, as a legal practitioner, I know very full well this is something that has to be substantiated with objective evidence, all right? Going into court and trying to prosecute somebody based off of discernment, unfortunately, isn't, well, actually, that's not unfortunate, because there are some weirdos out there that could talk about discerning anything and with no evidence, right? So that's a dangerous territory, and it is constitutionally appropriate that you need objective evidence in order to prosecute based on such allegations, especially of a government. But I want to be clear that same constitutional system is the very thing that the government is, I would say, let me get this license plate, 8BUZ780, 7TAF095, and 5NQH839. These demons are crossing path immediately with the sounding of plane engines that's flying over my head. Just like I showed you in video, the group stalkers that were in front of the Methodist church, and the state flies in a straight line over my head, amplifying that plane activity, which you are not going to hear. This is exactly what they're doing. 7H96187, all right? And this state facilitating venue maintaining a flickering light. An ongoing direct threat, that's a demonic environment, that's the peculiarized light that follows everywhere, all right? This is stalking with light, that's a communication of a threat by that venue, by those that are quote unquote working at the venue or live at that venue. This is how you can document and prosecute. License plate 8ERD001. And if this one's not an American citizen, 6149182, I am summarily advocating his prompt removal from this country. 8ERD001, monitoring with him. All right. 8UHH611. They have no right to be in this country, and then engaging in terrorism of an American citizen, stalking with a government. 8RVF023, which, by the way, has no shelter or prosecution. The government can't help itself. 26339P2 from this prosecution whatsoever. All right, so there is no helping some or providing any form for, in other words, there is no getting out of the pattern of conduct or that prosecution for that. And I want to document group stalking by third party sitting at the opposite side of the street with headlights toward me. This is that demonic conduct, that stalking activity, the ominous stalking by the people of the state, while group stalkers patrol around, and they sit around typically in their vehicles with light facing you. This is absolutely demonic, all right? And this is a terrorizing threat. This is license plate 8RDH285, and I want to get this group stalker that is over here. And let me be clear, pursuant to the demonic behavioral pattern, another joins as I speak of it, okay? This is exactly what the underage minions were doing inside of the library today. As I recite one doing one, going toward the Brody room, which is for employees, all right? You have another one that immediately follows. This is the demonic behavioral pattern. And it is currently 5:55 p.m., license plate 72450G2. All right, sitting in their vehicles, headlights towards you, that's called stalking with light. The state is stalking in every manner. There is absolutely no form. It is a matter of identifying the pattern, and this is the ominous, terrorizing conduct of the people for which you will directly prosecute for, okay? I'm going to get video of this. It's P.O.C. It's 5:55 p.m. It is 5:58 p.m. I did capture video because I want to make sure that it's understood the stalking conduct of the people who are under the very false impression you're talking about prosecuting federal stalking. The one that is directly across the street from them in license 27803Y1, stalking on the opposite side of the street. The state is amplifying plane activity. Let me give you a video of this. All right, I did capture that video of what is entirely demonic group conduct, and I am also documenting what is terrorism. This is speaking to the terrorism that the people engage in plain sight, all right? And you're talking about including that is the tendency that they engage in of engaging in this terrorism, which is sexually violent, life-threatening, stalking conduct with the government, and doing so with their children, doing so with those who are underage, all right? This is that which is demonic activity, which is terrorism, is how it's prosecuted. And this is that which is a government, a public entity, because the people are acting as the government while this criminal system is underway. 6YGM 096. And doing so, this is the public entity engaging in the delinquency of minors as they are engaging in terrorism, unprecedented criminal activity, okay, which is occurring in plain sight, 7NKZ 526. That's what demonic activity is, by the way. And while the people are engaging in this group demented activity, that is the very terrorism. And I want to be clear, while the state is engaging in subtlety with its fake sun, which, by the way, goes nowhere, my documentation has established that, you are looking at what is the stalking of with light by the people. That's what they are accomplishing. And it is the outward demonstration of demon possession, by the way, in the same way that the state's fake sun is the outward demonstration of demon possession. All right, you're in that environment. That is the indicator of demon possession. This is a demonic environment, and it is speaking to all of those who are in relevant position, including those under the age of 18. But under any circumstance, engaging in the delinquency of minors while the government is engaging in federal stalking, as it is doing so in the demonic methods that it is employing, which is terrorism, you shall prosecute for that delinquency of minors engaging in the facilitation of terrorism by those under the age of 18. Not that there's any appropriate age or age of majority to engage in terrorism, but I'm just speaking to the harm that the government is actually presenting to society as this entire system is underway. I'm just speaking all the many issues and implications presented by a government engaging in federal stalking and by a government that is oppressed with demon possession, because this is the reality. It is 6:02 p.m. and that is P.O.C. And I'm going to go ahead and pause now. I'm going to restart a different section because I want to separate this documentation from what is sexual violence as I documented it, observing the demon-possessed stalkers inside of that state facilitating venue and what is deliberate positioning and how they are engaging in that. And this is also speaking to the analysis when you're looking at surveillance cameras and you're watching what is coordinated conduct. None of it is coincidental. None of it is none of it is without deliberation, in other words, all right? It's 6:03 p.m., that's P.O.C. That's Metrolink engaged in P.O.C. and the state is amplifying the sound of a train like it's right here by me where 70HJ 907 is. The moment that I ended that recording right now, which was seconds ago, a loud train sound, and it sounds like it's next to me, 7NMT 792. 8DSB 713. Are monitoring to that amplification of train activity. And 7UHY 225 is engaging in terrorism and federal stalking with minors. Metrolink is the guise under which the state is creating artificial activity, the sound of a train, 8MZU 770, and doing so like the train is, like I'm standing in front of the train track. All right? The moment that I pressed the button on my phone to say that I was going to separate my documentation right now in order to discuss sexual violence at Upland Public Library, the moment that I do that, the train sounds like I'm standing in front of the train track. That's called amplification, 7HHP 153. So anyway, that's the pattern of conduct of, that's the same exact pattern of conduct. And you have that's Metrolink, so I'm going to make sure I document that. And I also want to speak to what is the creation of audible activity sounding the train inside of the Upland Public Library, 7XAB 150. Let's see, 4ZPA 302, 6YYA 033, 7VSD 253, 81931T1, 7U99, and 7U99114, 8RWJ 069, 8KKJ 162. It is 6:05 p.m. 8KKJ332, I believe I read that one. All those demons that are monitoring my documentation just went on ahead and drove into the gas station. 5LDJ690 is stalking with light. 7WMY645. This is third party facilitating venue 711 located at 204 North Euclid Avenue at 6:05 p.m. 7XOJ558, 8XHR862, 8THD259. All right, I want to document the positioning of the sex offenders which are the people of the state. These are the people of the state at that state facilitating venue, 9649472. And so this would be witnessed on surveillance cameras as I remain seated at the desk by the Brody room, 8GSZ346, adjacent to the Brody room. And this is where they are patrolling in and out, meaning using those doors, closing doors as a means of stalking with activity, which is amplified. The state is amplifying it while you're looking at what is directed light, just as I show you day in and day out, and the state keeping its fake sun. All right. And there is no deviation from that pattern of conduct. The pattern of conduct doesn't randomly just stop. The pattern of conduct that, as it is already demonstrated, is ongoing and has been ongoing, and that does not take a pause whatsoever. Okay. So you have the deliberate positioning. The male, there's a male that's sitting in the same area at the desk area. He is, as I am packing up my belongings, I log off of the internet. He goes inside of the male's restroom. Understand this is relevant positioning. And there is a female. This is a group stalker who is already maintaining presence in the path. Now understand they don't know necessarily when I'm going to get up and go to the bathroom. So this is engaging in the maintenance of presence inside of the bathroom. Whenever I go, making sure someone is in there. All right. And the male entering inside of the male restroom in a relevant position. And I want to be clear, demonic activity with regard to a demon, that male is engaged in egregious sexual violence, knowing what I'm doing in the bathroom while he's engaging in federal stalking with a communication device in relevant position. Getting in position in order to do so, engaging in that demonic sexually violent conduct with engaging in knowledge and affirmative conduct in getting in that position in order to do so. Okay, these are the sex offenders that I'm documenting. It's 6:08 p.m. All right, so the male officer, excuse me, yeah, they are monitoring too, but I'm focusing on inside. 5YYG224, by the way. He is engaging in deliberate positioning. He goes inside of the male restroom as I am packing up my belongings. This is in anticipation of being in position in order to engage in ongoing monitoring with communication devices on the venue of the internet. But understand this is also demonic activity that is coexisting. Knowing what I am doing inside of the restroom as I am doing it. That is monitoring while my panties are down, engaging in that sexually violent conduct, which is ceaselessly underway. This is also indicated by that ongoing environment that follows everywhere you go, that ongoing unnatural environment that follows everywhere that you go. This is documentation of these demon-possessed stalkers that go and take affirmative conduct to engage. They want to go even further and enter inside of the private space to stalk you in there, to engage and enter into the private space to create activity in there. All right. And that is just speaking to the level of perversion and the predatory nature of federal stalking amongst the demon-possessed. Okay. And so this will be observed on the surveillance cameras at around 4:35 p.m. when I do pack up my belongings and I leave from that desk area that is adjacent to the Brody room. And this is on surveillance camera. The male, he immediately goes inside of the male restroom. And as I enter the female's restroom, there's already somebody there in position. That is called deliberate relevant positioning. All right. It is 6:10 p.m. and that is P.O.C. at Upland Public Library. 8TNS 593. Molesting with light. And again, they're molesting with the state. The state is molesting me with directed light while I'm inside of the 7-Eleven. Located at 9715 Central Avenue in Montclair. And let me be clear, the police are stalking in relevant position using their police lights along with Amazon Prime, stalking with peculiarized light, and the people of the state are stopping on the side of the highways currently on Mountain Avenue. But this is maintaining peculiarized light en route, and the state is stalking heavily in aircraft as well. It is 6:48 p.m. That's P.O.C. License plate 6SWG404. 8WHK195. They're acting with the police who are stalking in the path with police lights. 8KKJ819. They're keeping lights. Understand this, these are demons, and they are aiming their lights onto the surface of the 7-Eleven. All right, that's stalking with light and stalking in the path. This is demonic activity. That's terrorism as it's underway. It's 6:48 p.m. POC. Hey, Pokeway, restaurant inside of Montclair Place, creating light activity as I walk by. 8UZD138, 8RYF673, 8UZK189, 7ZOY060, 8TQM446, 8XOS285, 8RQE532, 6FKC497, 8RDY268, 4VWT806. All right, ongoing monitoring at Montclair Place. It is 8 p.m. on the dot. All right, it is currently 9:37 p.m. License plate 4RAF251 8XDC653.